Well, I've always been interested in solar energy, actually any kind of renewable energy. The house I lived in for over 30 years didn't really lend itself to solar. I did move into a new house last year, and two things excited me. First, I was very happily excited by the southern exposure it had and that it really was perfect for solar energy. And then I was excited in a bad way by the first electric bill I got. So that really is what drove me to seriously look at it sooner than later. I really started looking at it within 2 or 3 months after moving into the house.
So we decided to go solar because we had heard nothing but good things from friends that recently invested, and as we grow our family, we're very conscious about the decisions we make to support a green, clean earth.
We ended up using Green Earth Energy from a referral from a coworker. We did our homework and did some due diligence and had other quotes, but when it came down to the final package, just the level of comfortness with the company and a local company, the decision was simple, to go with Green Earth Energy.
Working with Matt Dempsey was an absolute joy. He was so forthcoming with information about solar, about our particular solar installation in particular. He helped us out with all the right measurements for the building so we could design it accordingly. Our project managers were easy to reach by telephone and always got back to us promptly. And the installation team was unbelievable. They came up with good ideas about relocating the electrical connections out of sight of the building. It made our underground installation of the electric wiring planning much easier. We went around a stone wall instead of through it. And the whole experience was just very, very positive.
And in addition to that, the town inspector, who was giving us our solar permit, spent probably about 5 minutes. Once he saw all the professional work, the installation, the craftsmanship, he was in and out of the driveway. I went in the house to get a piece of paper to give him, and he was already leaving. The inspection was completed. So the professional work showed right through, and it was a wonderful experience.
Some people don't even notice it. The panels I went with are LG panels. They're completely black. It doesn't have the aluminum colored borders around it. So I think that stands out, and it shows, look, I got solar. I just wanted to be, there it is, but you can't see it. I have a steel roof on the house. You wouldn't know it was steel unless I told you.
My bill on a normal average was running about $196 to $240 a month on an average. Now with Green Earth Energy putting up the panels, I am getting a $7.48 saying underneath, do not pay. That means to me that I'm making money.
I would definitely recommend Green Earth Energy to all my friends and family. I think that solar is an up-and-coming source of renewable energy, and I think it's an important thing to get into business with Mother Nature. And Green Earth Energy has that part down. I think they're doing what they do best for all the right reasons.
We're a little more tentative when it comes to investing in new things, so solar we weren't so sure about. We have some friends who invested, and it just kind of made sense to go solar, and we quite honestly weren't sure why other people weren't looking into the same investment.
We chose Green Earth Energy because I ran into the salespeople at the Big E, and they agreed to come down to our house and evaluate and give us a price, and it was very competitive with a price we already had. And we also considered locating it other than on the main roof of the house, which we ended up doing.
When the consideration came up of ground-mounted solar, we didn't really want 35 solar panels at ground level in the backyard. So I thought a better idea might be to go ahead and build the two outbuildings we had been discussing for some time, one for a clinic, closed-in building, and one for pre-release flight cage for birds and rehabilitation. And so the design that Matt came up with was to put solar panels mounted on each roof. So we built the buildings accordingly, with the roofs the right length and width and angle to accommodate the solar panels, and it was a wonderful experience being the project managers for our project.
We learned a lot about solar meeting with a bunch of different companies, but our consultant Matt had taught us more about that we could put in a electric hot water tank that would be covered by approximately 3 panels, and it would reduce our oil cost as well.
Green Earth Energy, they had everything I needed to see to make my decision. Professionalism was there, the engineering knowledge, quality products, projected savings was a big one for me. They kind of explained all that stuff, and it was all there.
I would definitely recommend Green Earth Energy to anybody who's thinking about getting solar. Not only was my experience incredibly positive from start to finish, but these are folks who really know what they're doing and they understand energy use, and they can help you figure out what your energy use is. You don't want to get too many solar panels, but you want to get enough. You want people who are professionals, who understand your situation and what the state of the art and technology is that can really help you make the right decisions. So, my next house, and I'm hoping there won't be a next house, I would turn to them in a split second.
Those guys were great. I mean, any questions, they answered them. They were clean. They were just perfect crew.
When I moved into my new house, I moved in late June, and it was very hot that first summer. And my electric bills for the first 2 months were about $600, which in my old house, it probably wasn't $1,200 over a 2-year period. So it was very startling. I had the solar panels turned on in early January, and I have not had a bill since then. I just got my bill end of July for the month of July, and while I did use more energy than I produced, I had credits from earlier in the year because I had produced more than I used, so I still have not had a bill yet this year. I'm quite excited about that and hoping that remains the same. I'm really also looking forward to having the solar panels for a full year and seeing across that year cycle whether I do cover 100% of electricity. So far, I'm optimistic and it looks like I will.
So in the process of learning about solar, I was educated thoroughly from my sales rep, Matt, and he made it in layman's terms so that I could understand it. He didn't use all that solar jargon, so it made it really easy for me to understand and make the final decision to invest.
Communication with Laura in the office was great. Every time I had something that I was concerned about, I'd call her up right away. And she'd be on it right away, and whatever she had to do to make things right, she would do it quickly.
I had to put in a new pool liner this year. And then I had to run our electricity for almost 5 days straight, 24 hours a day. Normally this would have cost us $400. I got a $50 electric bill for that month. It was awesome.
I paid electricity one time this year when the snow was covered on the panels, and it was like, $8 for my electric bill. But I have enough credits built up with Eversource, and in 13 months I have an $800 credit with Eversource right now.
I have recommended Green Earth Energy to a lot of people that I know because the whole experience was very easy. They took care of everything and it was great.
Since we've gone solar, we've done enough promoting of it to others, mostly in the friends and family and some coworkers. Just explaining how simple it's been, how much it made sense for us and our family, and honestly, asking folks like, why haven't they thought about it? From the neighborhood, not so much, because the best thing about our solar panels is they're on the back of our house, and you really can't see them unless you're deep in the yard, which is something that both Corey and I were very much concerned about when we did go through this process.
So we decided to go solar because we're very conscious about the initiatives, clean initiatives for a clean, green earth for the future of our children and to save a little bit of money.
I had met with a couple different companies, I believe 5, and we were back and forth between leasing or buying solar. and Green Earth Energy did a great job with their presentation and the information that they provided to us, and I liked that we could do a 10-year solar loan without having to tie up our home equity.
I wanted to produce as much electricity as I could, and right now I'm almost at 50% more than what I'm using. And the side panels on the side of the garage, a couple of companies didn't want to install them. Green Earth Energy did some homework on it, discovered the angles are still good, and they installed them. And since Green Earth has installed it, I've had 2 other solar companies stop by the house and ask me if they could look at that because they have never seen solar panels installed in that position. And it works great. And I like another thing about it, in the winter, the snow comes off of it quick. So I'm producing electricity even when the other panels are covered with snow.
In the 12 months preceding solar installation, our bills were averaging about $170 a month. In the past 5 months, after the weather, sun angle, and everything else gets better, we have just been paying the $23.75 delivery service charge, no generation charges for electricity. So we're very pleased about that.
We have received multiple comments and questions from our neighbors, friends, and family. And as we reap the benefits of going recently solar, we do nothing but boost about Green Earth Energy and the benefits of going solar, especially for our pockets.
When I have visitors, one of the first things I do is bring them out to the backyard to show them, and they ask an awful lot of questions. So I'm hoping that the solar energy phase will keep being enhanced in this country, and that more and more people will turn to solar because it's really such a wonderful clean energy source.
We started thinking about solar for our house because our electric bill was over $300 a month, and we had a new roof put on, so we figured that was the best time to invest in solar.
Green Earth Energy wasn't my first choice. It was actually the 4th. I went through 3 other companies. One wanted to lease them. I didn't want to lease. I wanted to own mine outright. One company didn't want to do the solar panels the way I'd like to. And the 3rd company, which I almost went with, was really good. But then I went to Green Earth Energy, and I liked everything that happened with the company, everything. From the sales rep all the way to the install and to the day it was turned on.
So Laura from Green Earth Energy was great. When I needed to call, she was there. She was able to answer my questions, get back to me very promptly. She talked me through what stages we were in, what the next steps would be, reassured me that we weren't going to miss the deadline, and it was just very reassuring to have that contact that I could reach out to whenever I needed.
One of the things that impressed me about Green Earth Energy was I was on a bit of a time crunch, and they were able to accommodate when I wanted it installed, which was terrific. I felt like they were working for me instead of I was doing them a favor by purchasing the solar panels from them. When the crews showed up, I have to tell you, it was the most bitterly cold time of the year. It was horrible, and these fellows were on time. They did all of the work they needed to do without complaint. They had great teamwork, and they really were trying to stay out of my way. I was trying to get them to come in to warm up, and no, they had a job to do, and they were very professional. I also have a very energetic golden retriever, and not everybody enjoys that. However, they were wonderful with her. And I just have to tell you, they left no mess. They took care of everything. When they left, they explained to me how everything worked. They arranged to have all of the inspections done. They sent engineers to the house to be present for the inspections. So really, it was a no-fuss installation for me. And that made me very happy, as you can well imagine.
Everything went great. One thing I remember that sticks out in my mind, I got up to go to work in the morning, come home, and all the panels were installed. And I was very concerned at how they would look. And they looked great, and I was very happy.
Panels don't look bad at all. A couple of my neighbors are interested in doing it. They keep asking me, how much is your bill this month? When I tell them, wow.
When we do have people come, we have to point it out to them because it blends in with the black metal roof and the panels aren't a bit obtrusive looking. Believe me, we have to point it out to people that we have solar. It's just, it doesn't even appear to be there. It all blends in with the two buildings.
Once I decided I wanted to look into solar, I actually engaged about 3 firms over the first 3 months. And I would say 2 of the firms, they were all well-meaning, but 2 of them, they were very salesman-y, and I always do my research first. So a lot of the questions I'm asking aren't really because I need to know the answer. I just want to see how well the salespeople understand the answers and how much they believe in their products. And for 2 of the 3, I didn't get that, so I had eliminated them. Because it was such a big purchase, and a permanent purchase in my world, I contacted a friend of mine who'd had it done 2 years earlier, and they had used Green Earth Energy. They had been very happy with the service they had gotten and with the education they had gotten. So I thought, well, before I make a final decision, I'll call Green Earth Energy. So folks came to the house, and I have to tell you, Matt, the salesperson, really wasn't a salesperson. Matt explained not just about solar energy, but he wanted to go through my whole house and see how the house used energy, how I was going to use it. It was very helpful. The new house had a lot of different technologies than my old house. I was very familiar with oil-driven baseboard hot water heat. All of a sudden, I had gas-driven heat under my floors. You know, it was the radiant heat. It was very different. And Matt was so interested. He went through it. He helped me understand it and helped me understand how solar energy was going to help me with everything. And I really appreciated his help. He almost seemed like an engineer. Maybe he was, I don't know. But he didn't sound like a salesman. And that's really what sold me in the end, to use Green Earth Energy.
The reason I went solar is to save energy, also to save on money. Produce electricity, and I was looking to actually produce more than I was using.
Our sales rep, Matt Dempsey, as well as helping us select the panels and the number of panels based upon the sun exposure we had, also suggested that we think about buying a heat pump for our water, heating our water. This allows us to keep the oil furnace off all year round. And we have plenty of hot water with it. And it was basically offered to us wholesale to go with the whole project. So there was a lot of added benefit that Green Earth Energy brought to the situation.
So we would highly recommend Green Earth Energy to anyone who happened to ask us for a recommendation. We think they were all around terrific to work with, price-wise, design-wise, the whole project.
The process was pretty quick. Laura had sent a bunch of emails communicating with us, keeping us, up to date on what was going on, and Green Earth Energy pretty much took care of everything. So it was very easy on us.
I feel like the guinea pig in the neighborhood, I'm the only one on our street that has it. Of course, they all want to know how much I'm saving, right? That's the big thing. So I tell them. And I've actually had 2 neighbors actually make appointments with the sales consultants at Green Earth Energy, and they've told me that they're moving forward with solar, so that's great.
When we made the decision to go solar, going with Green Earth Energy was a no-brainer. They saw us through the entire process, all the way through project completion, and we couldn't be happier.